That chocolate bar you're craving, there's a good chance it barely deserves the name. Behind the glossy wrapper is often a cocktail of sugar, cheap oils, and chemical additives designed to mimic richness but far from real chocolate. Some bars still honor centuries of craftsmanship. Others are ultra-processed candy in disguise. This isn't about being dramatic. It's about knowing what you're actually eating. Let's break it open and expose what's worth it and what's not. The 7 bars to avoid. 7. Milky Way. Milky Way doesn't try to hide what it is. It's candy, caramel, nougat, a thin chocolate shell. But that shell is the problem. Flip the wrapper. Sugar is first, then corn syrup, then skim milk. Cocoa appears well down the list, sandwiched next to hydrogenated palm kernel oil and artificial flavors. Hydrogenated palm kernel oil means the fat in this bar isn't cocoa butter, the natural fat pressed from the cacao bean that gives real chocolate its clean melt. It's a cheap industrial substitute. Your body processes it differently. The planet pays for it too. Palm oil is one of the leading drivers of tropical deforestation, and it shows up here not because it makes the chocolate better, but because it makes the factory cheaper to run. The cocoa content in a Milky Way is so low that calling it a chocolate bar is generous. It's a caramel candy bar with a chocolate-flavored coating. There's a difference. A big one. Milky Way isn't the worst bar on this list. It's just the most honest about what it is. Everything that follows pretends to be something it isn't. Starting with a bar so iconic, its snap has its own sound effect. 6. Kit Kat. The satisfying snap, the 4 fingers, the unmistakable jingle. Kit Kat is one of the most recognized candy bars on the planet, which makes its ingredient list worth examining closely. Sugar is first, enriched flour second, vegetable fat third, cocoa appears further down, and in most U.S. market Kit Kats, the cocoa content sits somewhere between 10 and 15%. A quality dark chocolate bar starts at 60. Kit Kat is not in that conversation. What Kit Kat is, structurally, is a wafer coated in compound chocolate. Cocoa powder mixed with vegetable fats, held together with soy lecithin and vanillin. Vanillin is a synthetic molecule derived from wood pulp or petrochemical byproducts, engineered to approximate what real vanilla and quality cacao would smell like naturally. The snap you love? That's the wafer. The melt? That's palm oil, not cocoa butter. The aroma? Vanillin doing the work that quality cacao would do on its own. Kit Kat is a wafer cookie wearing chocolate's costume. A fun costume, but a costume. Now here's where it gets personal, because the next bar isn't just an icon. It's the bar that literally defined what an entire country thinks chocolate is. And that's the problem. 5. Hershey's Milk Chocolate Bar. Hershey's is America's chocolate. The bar your parents gave you. The name synonymous with the entire category, which is exactly why it needs to be examined honestly. Hershey's milk chocolate contains PGPR, polyglycerol polyricinolate, a synthetic emulsifier that replaced cocoa butter in the recipe because cocoa butter is expensive and PGPR is cheap. PGPR lets liquid chocolate flow through factory machinery more easily and extend shelf life. What it doesn't do is taste like chocolate. Real chocolate gets its melt from cocoa butter, a fat that dissolves precisely at body temperature. Swap it for PGPR in vegetable fats and you get a waxy, slower dissolve that coats your mouth differently. Your tongue already knows. You've just never had a word for it. Beyond the emulsifiers, Hershey's is genuinely low in cocoa content. The signature slightly tangy, almost sour note comes from a specific milk processing technique that creates butyric acid. It's distinctive, but it isn't what chocolate tastes like anywhere else in the world. This bar set the American standard so completely that most people grew up thinking this is what chocolate is. It isn't. But if you think that's bad, the next bar takes everything Hershey's does wrong and wraps it in a design that makes people genuinely believe they're treating themselves. 4. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Reese's belongs here not because peanut butter and chocolate is a bad idea. It's a great idea. But because what Reese's sells is one of the most addictive sugar delivery systems ever engineered. The chocolate coating contains PGPR, just like Hershey's. No coincidence. Hershey's owns Reese's. The formula is consistent. Replace cocoa butter with synthetic emulsifiers, keep cocoa content minimal, maximize sweetness, and add enough salt and fat to trigger every reward pathway in your brain simultaneously. The peanut butter filling isn't natural peanut butter. It's peanuts plus sugar plus dextrose plus salt plus TBHQ, a petroleum-derived preservative with no business in something marketed as a wholesome snack. Every element of Reese's flavor has been calibrated for maximum craving, not maximum quality. Brilliant food engineering, just not food. And yet, Reese's at least feels like what it is. The next bar on this list is more dangerous because it uses a trusted foreign name to convince you that you're getting something crafted. You're not. 3. Cadbury Dairy Milk, US version. Cadbury in the UK is a genuinely different product, made with cocoa butter as the primary fat, a higher milk content, and a distinctly smoother texture. It has a real following among serious chocolate lovers. It deserves it. The US version, manufactured under license by Hershey's, is not the same bar. The recipe was reformulated for American shelves. More sugar, a softer texture, and in place of pure cocoa butter, vegetable fat. This matters because the Cadbury name carries enormous trust. The purple wrapper, the cursive logo, it all signals something premium. Consumers pay for that signal. What they receive is a product built on the same industrial shortcuts as Hershey's, just with a British accent. The wrapper promises old-world chocolate. The ingredient list delivers American candy logic. If that feels like a betrayal, wait until you see what's at number 2. Because this next bar doesn't just use European branding as a disguise. It perfected the art of it. 2. Kinder Bueno. Kinder Bueno has become one of the most beloved imported candy bars in America. The wafer, the hazelnut cream, the thin chocolate shell, the European branding that implies artisanal quality. People genuinely love it. Then you read the label. Sugar is first. Vegetable oils, specifically palm oil, appear before cocoa. The chocolate coating contains cocoa powder, not cocoa mass. Cocoa powder is the defatted industrial leftover after the valuable cocoa butter has been extracted and sold elsewhere, held together with soy lecithin and vanillin, the same synthetic vanilla found in Kit Kat and Hershey's. The dominant flavor comes from sugar and synthetic vanilla, not from real hazelnut or real chocolate. Kinder Bueno is the most effective bar on this list at disguising what it is. Compound candy dressed for a Milanese runway. But even Kinder Bueno is outclassed at the top spot because number 1 doesn't just fool you, it charges you a premium to do it, wraps itself in gold foil, and gets placed on the tables of weddings. 1. Ferrero Rocher. Ferrero Rocher is the most successful premium illusion in the global candy market. The gold foil, the white box, gifted at Christmas, served at weddings, positioned everywhere as the definition of chocolate luxury. It is not luxury chocolate. It is luxury packaging around industrial candy. The coating contains cocoa powder, not cocoa mass, not cocoa butter, mixed with vegetable fats and sugar. The hazelnut filling is a processed cream structurally identical to Nutella, also a Ferrero product. Palm oil appears twice in the ingredient list, once in the coating, once in the filling. The whole construction is engineered to deliver crunch, creaminess, sweetness, and nuttiness using the least expensive ingredients possible. The wafer inside is a texture trick. It creates the feeling of complexity without adding any real flavor depth. Ferrero Rocher costs more than a Milky Way. It photographs better, but inside that gold wrapper, the same industrial logic as every other bar on this list, executed with better theater. You're paying for the box. 7 bars that lied to you. Now 5 that won't. And the first one might already be sitting in your grocery store right now. The 5 worth it. 5. Lindt Excellence 70% Dark. Lindt is where this list turns, available in almost any grocery store at an accessible price, and structurally real chocolate in a way nothing in the first half can claim. The ingredient list is short: cocoa mass, sugar, cocoa butter, bourbon vanilla beans, no PGPR, no vegetable fats, no vanillin synthesized from wood pulp. Break a square off. Listen for the snap. That clean, sharp crack is the sound of properly tempered cocoa butter crystals, a structure that takes skill to achieve and cannot be faked with palm oil. Hold it on your tongue. It melts within seconds because cocoa butter has a melting point almost exactly at body temperature. That fast, clean melt is not a coincidence. It's chemistry that only happens with the real ingredient. Lindt isn't the pinnacle of fine chocolate, but it is genuine, widely available, and a world apart from everything above it on this list. One square will reframe the entire category. But what if you want real chocolate, and you want to know the people who made it were treated fairly? That's where number 4 comes in, and it changes the conversation entirely. 4. Tony's Choco Lonely Dark Milk, 42%. Tony's earns its place for 2 reasons. First, it's structurally real chocolate. Cocoa mass, cocoa butter, sugar, milk, real vanilla. No vegetable fats, no PGPR, no synthetic emulsifiers. Second, it's the only mainstream bar on either half of this list that has made supply chain ethics a core part of its business model. Most cocoa is grown in West Africa under conditions that include widespread child labor and poverty-level wages for farmers. Tony's works differently, sourcing directly from partner cooperatives, paying above market price, and publishing their sourcing data openly. The bars are deliberately uneven in their chunking, a visual symbol of the unequal industry Tony's is trying to change. A bar that tastes like real chocolate and functions as a vote for a better industry. Both things at once. Good enough to stand on flavor alone. But number 3 strips it back even further. 3 ingredients, nothing else. And some of the most meaningful sourcing on this entire list. 3. Alter Eco. Deep Dark Blackout, 85%. The ingredient list is 3 items. Organic cacao, organic cocoa butter, organic cane sugar, no lecithin of any kind, no vanilla, no emulsifiers, just cacao, its own natural fat, and a small amount of sugar. At 85% cacao, the sugar is a minor character. The cacao is everything. High percentage dark chocolate from quality cacao is genuinely rich in magnesium, flavonoids, and antioxidants that support cardiovascular health. These compounds exist in the cacao bean and survive into the finished bar when processing is minimal. They do not survive in Milky Way. They are not present in meaningful quantities in Ferrero Rocher. Alter Eco sources exclusively from smallholder farming cooperatives, certified fair trade and organic, under regenerative agriculture principles. The packaging is compostable. This is what the top tier looks like. A bar that asks nothing of you except to slow down and let it melt. Think that's clean? Number 2 has the same short ingredient list and puts 10% of every sale towards something most companies don't give a second thought. 2. Endangered Species 88% dark chocolate. 3 ingredients. Cocoa mass, cocoa butter, cane sugar, sourced from Rainforest Alliance certified farms. No palm oil, no PGPR, no synthetic vanillin, and for every bar sold, 10% of net profits go directly to wildlife conservation. At 88%, this bar is not for people who want a sweet treat. It's for people who understand that bitterness in chocolate is not a flaw. It's information. The snap is sharp. The melt is slow and complete. Roasted bitterness, a whisper of fruit, an earthy finish that tells you exactly where this cacao came from. No sugar rush, no crash 20 minutes later. Just clean, mineral-rich chocolate that leaves you feeling steadier than when you started. It's not trying to be dessert, it's trying to be chocolate. And it succeeds completely. But there is one level above this. And if everything we've covered so far reframed the category for you, number 1 is going to blow it wide open. 1. Rocca or Compartes. Single origin dark chocolate. The top of this list belongs to a category. Single origin bean-to-bar chocolate made by small American makers who rebuilt the entire process from scratch. Rocca in Brooklyn works with unroasted cacao, never applying the high heat that industrial roasting uses to standardize and strip flavor. Their bars taste floral, bright, sometimes almost wine-like. Each origin reads as a completely distinct product. Comparte takes the opposite approach. Rich, deeply roasted cacao with imaginative inclusions. But the base is always the same. Single origin cocoa mass, cocoa butter, unrefined sugar, no shortcuts. No filler fats. No synthetic anything. Eating either after working through the first 7 is a revelation. The difference between hearing a song on a phone speaker and hearing it in a concert hall. The architecture was always there. You just never had the right equipment to hear it. This is what chocolate is capable of when it's treated as a craft, not a commodity. when the farmer matters, when the origin matters, when the process is built around flavor, not factory throughput. Real chocolate exists. It costs more. Because real things do. If this changed the way you see that aisle, share it with someone who's still buying the gold box.